Hello, everybody. My name is Adam Bergman, and this is the Palantir's 3030 Club. In today's video, I want to talk a little bit about Palantir, and I'm going to break it down into two segments. The first segment, I want to deep dive into Palantir's announcement of a partnership not only with Israel, but a brand new partnership that they announced with the Israeli IDF, which is the Israeli military, called the Israeli Defense Forces. I don't think people understand how big of a deal this is. While Israel is one of the smallest countries in the entire world, literally plopped in the desert, in the last 75 years, they built a literal powerhouse, a metropolis that none of their neighbors can actually compete with. You see, the GDP of Israel, which I'll get into in just a moment, is really high. The defense spending of Israel, their actual budget right now, is really high. Israel even ranks number 3 in the world for countries where venture capitalists, specifically for artificial intelligence, are coming to. Israel, for lack of knowledge, people don't know, is absolutely a powerhouse, a true metropolis that most people have no idea about. They see this little country that most people cannot even hone in or locate, and they completely write it off. But believe it or not, Israel has already been working with Palantir in some degree and capacity for over a decade, as per Dr. Alex Karp, and now they're going to expand on that partnership. So while the United States is the largest market for Palantir, followed by the UK when it comes to military, I believe that Israel is actually going to be the 3rd largest market for Palantir. A lot of money to be made in the Palantir community, a lot of money to be made for Palantir Technologies working and expanding their partnerships with Israel. And the second part of today's video, I want to talk a little bit more about options, as I've been doing in the last couple of videos. Last year, I made over 6 figures literally selling options. I'm talking about selling cash secured puts and selling covered calls, where I am the bank and I am the one that's collecting the premiums. In today's video, I want to talk about rolling an option and rolling an option when you are underwater. I will be showing you a specific example, my personal underwater play with Tesla, which is not doing so good, but that's okay because I'm not actually losing money, and I'll show you what I mean in just a moment. If this is something that you can get behind, please sit back, relax, enjoy this video. But before you do that, can I please ask you, hit me up with a comment down below, hit me up with a like, hit me up with a share, hit me up with a subscribe, because it definitely helps with the almighty YouTube algorithm. And if you want to be part of the Palantir 3030 Club, let me know. And if you don't know what the Palantir 3030 Club is that I got from Hella Madrid, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll break it down to you if one of my subscribers didn't already break it down in the comments. Palantir 3030 Club, let's go. Watch this screen right here. Guys, this is a tweet from Palantir. The tweet says, "We have agreed to a strategic partnership with Israel's MOD, Military Ministry of Defense, to supply Palantir technologies to help the country's war effort." The agreement followed a Thursday meeting between Israeli defense officials and Palantir co-founders Peter Thiel and Alex Karp. Guys, when is the last time that you saw Alex Karp and Peter Thiel together? It's been quite a long time. And yesterday we saw a picture of them together, and now we see another picture of them together. If you go back to Palantir Tech, there was another picture right here where it was an honor to meet with the president of Israel, Isaac Herzog, before Palantir's board of directors meeting in Tel Aviv. We are proud to stand alongside Israel, supporting a culture of innovation, technology, and democracy. And here you go right here. Peter Thiel is looking super duper slim. But this was with Israel in general. And Alex Karp revealed that he's been going to Israel for the last 35 years. And that he has been working with Israel to some degree in capacity with Palantir Tech, and he will soon reveal, hopefully in 2024, to what extent. I have my own conclusions and my own theories that they are working on the Iron Dome and other technologies, which I will get into in just a moment. So this is really, really cool. I don't know who this big bird looking fellow is, but they definitely scratched out his face. No idea exactly who this is. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, Adam, this is all fine and dandy, but in Ukraine, we only received $1 million so far helping out Ukraine, and we're doing everything for free. And to this, I'm going to say, as always, we plant the seeds little by little, and hopefully when we plant the seeds tomorrow, we will reap the rewards and we will eat some fruit. This is evident in our ever-expanding contracts with the NHS, the NIH, so on and so forth. And even yesterday's video where I talked about a new multi-million-dollar, multi-year deal with the University out of Colorado, if I'm not mistaken. If you didn't see that video, there will be a link up above. Click on it now and watch that video, or even better, finish watching this video and then watch this video. So now what I'm going to say is Israel is not other countries. Check this out. Guys, take a look at this really fast. This is the defense spending, military spending by country. You have your top dogs right here: United States, China, Russia, India, Saudi Arabia, United Kingdom's right here, which is the second market for Palantir right now, Germany, France, South Korea, Japan, Ukraine. Ukraine should not be this high on the list. Ukraine's spending was not 44 billion prior to this war. Prior to this war and before all of the funding, Ukraine's billing was actually, or military spending was actually just sub 6 billion. So let's take this out. You have Italy, you have Australia, Canada, and then you have this country, Israel, which is number 15, but actually should be number 14. Now, let's do some math. I know a lot of people are like, Adam, how's that possible that Israel spends so much money on defense? It's a huge, huge number of their GDP, 4.5%. A lot of people think that America gives all this money to Israel. Yes, America helps out Israel, and I'll get into it in just a moment, but Israel's spending is 4.5% of their GDP. Let that sink in, right? They spend a lot of money without America's contribution. Why do they spend a lot of money without America's contribution? Because Israel, unlike a lot of these countries that have handouts from America, are actually a powerhouse, and they're actually a leader in GDP. And I'll show you in just a moment. But I want to add 8 billion, and I'll show you why 8 billion. If you take 23 billion and then you add 8 billion, you're right around 31 billion, which would put them actually in spot number 13. But Ukraine is off the list, so they would actually be spot number 12. So they would be a top 12 military spending country. Now you're going to say, Adam, why are you talking about 31 billion where it clearly says 23 billion? Very simple. Israel sees defense spending rising $8 billion as the war rages. So Israel asked right here, Israel will need to increase defense spending by at least 30 billion shekels next year, which is $8.3 billion to finance, as per the financier of war against the Hamas rages, blah, 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 blah. And this was all like official. They actually submitted all of this, all right? As well as military spending, the ministry said an additional 10 billion shekels would be required to cover the evacuation of around 120,000 people from Israel's northern, southern borders areas. I think this is going to be a very similar case to what Palantir is doing in Ukraine with all of the refugees, but in a different case. But this is one of the use cases of what I think Palantir is going to be giving Israel. And then you have different use cases that Palantir is going to be giving Israel's IDF. Now, you might say, well, Adam, this is starting to get juicy. What is your point? My point is quite simple, and I'm going to keep going, deeper in this. I was born in Israel. I came to the United States when I was 1 year old. I am a proud American Israeli. Very, very proud. And obviously, I'm biased, and I support Israel. I support America. I absolutely love Palantir. Before they supported Israel, and I absolutely am head over heels for Palantir right now. And if you guys don't like it, it's on you. And if you guys don't understand what an amazing company this is because of some hatred or some ignorance, well, you guys are absolute schmucks and you deserve no gains. You get no gains. What I'm trying to say is that Israel is not Ukraine. Israel is a massive market, probably right behind the UK for Israel in terms of an opportunity. Probably right next to neck and neck with Japan if you think about military and non-military for future spending. Remember, Israel is going to be working with the military, and Israel is going to be working with just Israeli government in general. But then you're going to say, well, Adam, how does this help Palantir? We understand Israel is being helped with Palantir's technology, but how is Palantir, getting a contribution? Israel is not Ukraine. Israel will be and has the capabilities to pay for software. Why? They don't 100% rely on handouts. They're not expecting the United States government to say, hey, Palantir, do something for Israel. Now, Palantir, the board, they actually want to help Israel, but Israel is going to be paying for a lot of these things. I want to show you a few more things. Check this out. This is GDPs, guys. This is GDPs. Remember, Israel is literally the size of New Jersey. GDP for 2022 ranked number 27 in the world at $522 billion. This is absolutely freaking massive for a country that only has 9 million people. This is literally right behind United Arab Emirates. This is literally right behind Belgium and Norway. These are heavy-hitting countries, right? If you go up, by the way, no country in that region, bordering countries of Israel are even on this list like that high, right? You have definitely GDP. You have Saudi Arabia right here. You have Turkey over here, but they're not immediately bordering Israel. They're not immediately bordering Israel. If you want to go to countries that border Israel, you have Egypt right here. Think about that. Egypt has 110 million people and their GDP is less than Israel. And then you have all of the other countries, even Iran, 88 million people, their GDP is 389 billion. And those other countries, Iraq, 264 billion, and they have 45 million people. And I don't want to bore you, but you guys get the drift. Israel is a lot stronger than people understand. And if you go to Israel, Israel has three main companies that are offering defense in Israel. The country's defense industry is dominated by three companies: Israel Aerospace Industry, Rafael Advanced Systems, and EBIT Systems. Guys, EBIT is publicly traded. All three of these countries export 12.5 billion, guys. 12.5 billion export their technology. Now, you might not know this, but they are a major exporter to Asia and Europe and North America. You see, unlike a lot of these countries that beg for hardware, that beg for software, that beg for handouts and money, Israel's a fucking powerhouse. Specifically, if you look at their size, the size of New Jersey and their population, they make a lot of things in-house. They built a powerhouse out of literal sand. So while all the other countries around them are literally focusing on how to kill them, Israel focused on how to defend itself and how to prosper. And because of that, Israel has a growing GDP and a growing AI industry, which I'll show you in just a moment, and a growing defense industry. Because of everything that I just mentioned, huge opportunities for Palantir. That's where I'm going with this video. If I haven't lost you yet and you're still here, congratulations. Give yourself a clap, because you're starting to understand why this partnership with Israel and expanding their partnership with Israel really means something, because what's good for the geese is good for the gander. Maybe Palantir starts working with one of the Israeli hardware providers, similar to the way they're working with Anduril. Again, check out these three companies that I just mentioned. EBIT Industries literally has a helmet for a tank, and you don't have to drive the tank left, right, forward, back. You're literally moving a helmet that controls the tank. That's the type of technology that they have. That's also going to be used in airplanes. So Israel has an opportunity to match their software with some of the best hardware technology in the world. And they're going to get paid from Israel and specifically Israeli Defense Forces. Now, besides for the military opportunities, check this out right here. There's an AI opportunity. Israel's generative AI map rapidly growing. Israel currently ranks as the third largest generative AI venture capitalist ecosystem globally, boasting an impressive investment influx of over $2.2 billion in the last 3 years. They're ranked number 3, and over 130 companies in the country have either secured funding or demonstrated initial signs of traction, leveraging the core capabilities of generative AI. Guys, with Israel's GDP being number 26 in the world, with their current military defense budget being number 14 in the world, and will be number 12 in the world, with an AI landscape that's growing tremendously, second and third only to United States and probably the UK, if I had to guess, Israel is a major, major market for Palantir. And unlike Ukraine, Israel actually has infrastructure, and Israel actually has a lot to offer Palantir in terms of partnerships, in terms of monies, so on and so forth. And for this, I believe that the move by Palantir is actually a great move. And I just wanted people in the Palantir community to understand what an absolutely massive, massive opportunity this is. With that said, I want you to do two things. I'm about to go into the next segment of the show where I'm going to be talking about options, specifically about rolling options. But before I do, hit the like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so earlier so that I could get blessed by the YouTube almighty algorithm. When you roll a contract, whether it's a covered call or a cash secured put, remember, I like being the bank where I sell contracts and collect premium. Although you can roll a regular put where you buy, and you can roll a regular call where you buy as well. Rolling is simply this. When you have a specific option, rolling means closing the existing option and selling a new option. So you collect the premiums from the new option, which pays off the premiums of your existing option, and now you bought yourself time. So a lot of times people roll to the next date. Why? If they're underwater, or if they want to keep collecting more premium, or if they're right on the money. For example, if you had a Palantir 1650 strike for today, Friday, and Palantir currently is 1645, you don't want to risk it because you're so close to the strike price, you rather just roll it out 1 week. So that's an example of rolling. If you are super, and you're going to collect premium, you're going to make money as long as the price is very close to your initial strike price. For my specific case, which I'm going to show you right now, I initiated a Tesla cash secured put. I put up $125,000, or shall I say collateral, from my margin account on Robinhood. And I'll tell you a secret, I have to pay $0 on that margin. By doing this, I opened up 5 contracts as a cash secured put for Tesla with a 255, now 257.50 strike price. Last I checked, Tesla was at $228 or so. So obviously I don't want to buy shares at $257.50 when the shares on the open market is $228. So the question is, Adam, well, what do you do? Didn't you get caught? And I'll show you a quick example of what you do and how you get out of a really bad position rolling your contracts. Now, this is something called managing your options, where you literally have to manage it. Usually you set it and forget it, but sometimes you get in a problem. This is a more advanced form of options trading where you have to manage it to minimize your risk and try to get out of the play without getting hurt. Most people would not need to do this, and most people are just going to set it and forget it. Since this is a large amount, I need to manage the absolute life out of this so that I don't get called on that $125,000 of margin that I have right now. Take a look at the screen and it's going to make a lot more sense. This is Tesla. If I go a little bit lower, you're going to see my history for Tesla. All right. Let me show you guys more. I started this position right here. So I started doing this in December 18th of 2023. Give me a moment. Let me actually explain to you what this means. On December 18th, 2023, I opened up 4 contracts. This is it right here. I collected $1,900 in premium right here, $1,900 for 4 contracts. And I had to put up the collateral. At the time, the contracts was like $22,000 each or $25,000 each. So I had to put up $100K in collateral for 4 contracts. I am saying that I was willing to buy Tesla at $255 on December 18th. What I ended up doing on December 22nd, the price of Tesla, I believe, was like $256. I was right out of the money. I rolled it. I collected another $1,500 or $1,476 for the same 4 contracts, and I rolled it to next week. Let me explain to you how that works. I had an existing 4 contracts right here. All right. And the contracts at the time were worth 95 cents. That's the premium left in the contracts. This is what I would have to pay to get out of the contracts. I rolled the same 4 contracts at 255 strike for the following week, and I was collecting $4.64 of premium. 464 minus 95 gives me this contract right here, which I collected $1,476. Then Tesla started going a little bit lower right here, and I started rolling it again. I rolled it next week, $2,180 I collected. I opened up one more contract because the price of Tesla started going down, and I collected $875. Just one thing over here. I rolled it from 255 to 257.50. So I rolled it up. So I am saying that instead of 255, I'm willing to pay 257.50. I thought Tesla was actually going to break out to 260. I was wrong. It is what it is. Because of that, I ended up getting another contract. So now I have 5 contracts that I'm managing. And the collateral on 5 contracts is 5 contracts times 100 shares would be 500 shares at whatever price Tesla is right now. And we're talking about around $125,000. Since then, I started rolling it. But as you can see, the amount I'm collecting is $685. And then I rolled it for $300. Why? The reason is because since I'm starting to be in the money, when I roll, and I'll show you guys an example in just a moment. If you have questions, please feel free to ask. I had this contract right here that ends January 5th for $257.50. I pushed it one more week for January 12th, which would have been today, which I rolled one more time. And at this time, you remember the last contracts I said I had 95 cents of premium? Well, now I have $16 worth of premium. And I'm not able to collect much. So all I care about right now is to manage it so I don't get called and I don't have to buy the shares. So I don't care how much premium I'm collecting. As long as I am collecting even $1, I'm happy with that. What happened is earlier this week, I did the same thing. As you can see, my contracts are starting to be worth more money. So I'm collecting less and less money. And soon, maybe even today, I'm probably going to be literally even on these contracts. Now, let me show you guys something really, really fast. If I go to my buying power right here, you're going to see something called options collateral. The options collateral is the amount of money that Robinhood is taking from me as an IOU. I do not have to pay interest on this $128,000 that I'm using as collateral or an IOU to play these Tesla options unless I actually buy the Tesla shares. Because I don't have to pay any margin premium on this, I don't care how much I'm collecting. I just don't want to get called. So let's manage this position one more time, shall we? So where is my Tesla position? This is my Tesla position right here. So right now, Tesla is down another 3.6%. Tesla's price right now is $219. It's really, really underwater. Very, very bad for me. Very, very bad. If I go over here, I'm going to see the little button that says roll this option. When you press roll this option, I want you guys to go right here where the price is, 218. Now, I want to roll the option. So this is expiring already on the 19th, right? So I have this expiring one more week. I think I'm going to have to roll this one more time because Tesla is just having really bad news. Now, it doesn't make a difference if it's Tesla or Palantir or SoFi or any other, stock. All the way, you got to go all the way up to 257.50 at the very, very least. So right now, my contracts is 257.50. I want to roll 257.50. If I roll 257.50 and I press continue, I would end up collecting $275. So I can get out of this trade for another week. I can buy myself one more week. So instead of this expiring January 19th, this is going to expire January 26th, right by earnings. I'm going to keep playing this position until earnings, and I hope that earnings give me a break and push the price of Tesla up. If you guys are unclear with what exactly I'm doing, this is the contract right here. I would be collecting $39 for this contract. My existing contract, I already owe $38.50. So I'm collecting $39.03. I owe $38.50. The difference would be 53 cents, right now 65 cents, and I would collect this roughly $300 plus or minus. And I am buying myself 7 days. All I'm doing right now, just for you guys to understand this, I don't care about collecting much premium. All I care about is buying myself some time. I don't need Tesla to go to $250, $750. I just need Tesla not to be $220. I need Tesla to go up to like $240. And now I'm going to start collecting a decent premium again, like $1,000 a week. Sometimes it doesn't always work out. And the more you realize how to play this game, the better you're going to get. It doesn't always work like that. Let me show you one more quick example with Palantir. This is my Palantir position. I currently have a $17.50 sell today. This is worth 2 cents right now, roughly. So every single share is worth 2 cents right now, roughly. If I go to roll this option, so right now the price of Palantir is $16.73. There's literally no chance that this is going to get called. I'm not going to have to sell my shares. If I wanted to, I can press this right here and say, instead of this week, I'm going to sell for $17.50 next week. Now, as always, I'm going to have an 80% chance of winning, so 80% in my favor. How do I know this? Well, there's going to be something called the Greeks. Let me make sure you guys can see it. It's right here. All right. This is the chances that somebody buying from me has that this contract is going to go through. I know you see 26.26, which means that will give me roughly 74%. And I know you guys are seeing 80%. So you might say, well, Adam, how come it's 80 even though the delta is 0.26? If I'm losing you, just ask a question, because you have theta and time decay. Time decay is actually in your favor when you're selling a contract, and it's against you when you are buying a contract. Let's say I picked this 17. I currently have 96 contracts or 9,600 shares in this specific play. I would collect $1,440 for rolling this. Now, I can roll this today or I can roll this on Monday. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I'm just going to chill for now. If I feel that Palantir is going to go down, which I have a feeling that it could, I could even do this one right here for 30 cents. If I click the one on 30 cents, then I would be collecting $2,688. So you might say, well, Adam, this is all interesting, but dive a little deeper. You see, the entire time I'm collecting premium. So even though Tesla, I'm underwater, let's say I even had to buy the shares. Yes, at 220, I would be under the water. But since I've been collecting premium this entire time, around $10,000 in this specific play, it's a trading play. Remember, you don't have to day trade. You can trade selling options. I already offset my final cost by $10,000. So the closer I'm going to get to that price, the more I'm going to be in the money in my favor. And this entire time, I'm just collecting premium. Same thing with this Palantir, right? If I collect another $1,000 or $3,000, I'm just reducing this off of my cost basis. So if I paid, for example, $50,000, now I paid $47,000 because every single week I just collect the premium and I reduce my total exposure to a specific play. Guys, I hope this makes sense. I'm getting some comments down below asking me to give examples. The last comment somebody said, show me a rolling example. I'm only going to be able to teach you and bestow this knowledge on you as best as you guys ask questions. If you don't ask questions, I don't know what to talk about and I don't understand what you're clear about and not clear about. Before you go home, enjoy your family, enjoy the weekend, and please click on this video as well if you are a Palantir 3030 Club supporter. And for everybody that's a channel member, I appreciate you. And if you want to become a channel member and give me $3 a month, I have a link down below. Have a great weekend.